Greetings everyone, it's Lodrik and this is a game war in the Pacific Admins Edition. This is my play-by-email match against AsuRob. He's Allied Commander and for me it is Empire of Japan. This is now December 11th, 42 turn. Looks not good for Hosho. Fire is out of control. Maybe not enough Navy support. It's a small island to stop the fires. There was a enemy task force in Townsville, but no engagement. A bombardment task force, a destroyer. 2, 3. Yeah, 3 destroyers coming, shelling the port, damaging some of my aircraft. And no return fire. My Q-Nels. This is more or less a long-range anti-submarine version of the Nell. Ground strikes. And that's not hard to say if this is now carrier strike or from the airfield. Anyway, it's a very weak strike and I can slaughter them. This is now a carrier strike. And it's similar to before, but not more so powerful. Before we had 120, 130 strike aircraft. Now it's down to 90, roughly speaking. I was still not really able to stop the dive bombers, but I took out the escorts. That will not help, of course, my ships. But maybe it will still be enough to lower the hit shots. Bombs are dropping left and right. No hit. And now slaughter. Yeah, very small slaughter. So 90 bombers cannot score one hit. And again, Rob is coming here at between 20,000, most of them, and some at 5,000. Ask Rob why. The British Air Force is still trying to attack here, but not much sounds. Banshees, it's the end, easy picking. some mid shields. I have here long range cap over my task force. I've already I had a feeling this will happen here. I cannot completely stop them. But they're all damaged. They're coming again very low. Now there are Aerocobras. Too many. Strafing. Only machine gun bullets, no cannon bullets. So, yeah, no damage. More aircraft. Without escort. One dive bomber. The dive bomber is still coming at 20,000. But the problem is there are simply too many aircraft now. And my cap is simply limited to maximum 40-50 aircraft. I could also imagine that if Rob is splitting the altitude between 5 and 20,000, then my cap is very maybe hard to really focus on something. You can only catch the high flying or the low flying, but not both at the same time. Could be one of the reasons. But I can only say there was not one bomb hit today on my ships in the morning. Some Catalinas getting destroyed or reported to be destroyed. Chinese are still dying. The air wing strike groups are getting smaller and smaller. The Aerocobras are running. That is a big strike group once again. So 80, 85 strike aircraft. And there's a penetration hit with a 500-pound bomb. And the next 500-pound bomb penetrate my armor deck. That is nearly impossible, but still possible. Iwaki is one of my newest cruisers, just finished construction I think a month ago. And already had 3 hits now. 4. And they're all penetrating the armor deck. So maybe something is wrong with my cruiser. Or something is wrong with allied bombs here. 5 bomb hits on all penetration. So my cruiser just getting wiped out. And altitude level is very mixed up. One more airing. 4 more dauntless. But no bombing. The guy's coming again at 20,000. But now heavy fires, heavy damage. That looks like the ship is lost. So this means I lost a light an escort carrier and now a heavy cruiser for this kind of battle in the north of Japan. The question is the amount of aircraft Rob is losing here, if it makes sense with this kind of bloody battle. Good, attack on Cooktown, and I can take the base. Got no one here, no ship, no aircraft. But this means there's nothing to hide. I also attack here in the north. There's a tank, 2 mobile units at the end. And battle is just so. A bombardment in the source of Bundaberg. I guess this is the same, this is stalemate, no one is strong enough to overpower the other one. Yeah. So it was a good turn up to the last 2 airstrikes or 3 airstrikes, and then my heavy cruisers is completely failing the protection. Normally this is a Tone class cruiser and should have enough deck armor to be 100% protected against 500-pound bombs, but I would say even with this success of the Allies, they're paying a price in aircraft, 115 to 6 aircraft. And yeah, this time I lost also some of my aircraft. This is Townsville, and this could be North Japan. But 6 aircraft for 115 is still a ratio. This is a lot of dauntless dive bombers getting destroyed, but also Wildcats. So yes, this is a full carrier deck wiped out completely in one turn. Hosho, I scuttled the ship, I think, and also the small local minesweeper. It was impossible to save it, and I saved the captain at least, and 5 or 6 points if this is important for you. And I have here now 1 killed pilot today. Still no kill for my super ace. Only at 30 still. So all others are making kills, but not this guy. Maybe he was on rest today. I really, the problem is there's no upgrade, or you don't know how many additional kills you have, but you can see how many green experience, and this means normally always a kill. So many guys got a kill here today. And so the guy was from Townsville. This is here North Japan, yeah. So and the army pilots are doing similar stuff, ramping up more and more kills. So now I have this 0 to 105, and here now 3 to 102. I think the 0 is at probability of 27, and that guy have 28, so a little more meat to survive damage, but I would say it's not a big difference. So now the issue is that I still unload here some supplies to get supplies into the base. That is fine. But Iwaki, for some reason, I don't know, normally 65mm deck armor cannot be penetrated. But it was here 4 or 5 times and this completely burnt out the ship. So you now have so high system damage that it's very hard to get the fire under control. That ship is at least completely burnt out and out of action for months, even if I can get the fire under control tomorrow. Yeah, that was really unlucky. And he was also a single hit, and that created also a lot of damage. I really don't know what kind of bombs this was. This was a crazy powerful bombs. That sounds more like a 1,000 or 2,000 pound bomb. Yeah. So my cruiser formation, I mean this cruiser is not, the fire is under control, that is fine. But this means I lost at least 2 cruisers out of action, maybe one is completely lost. Again, I would say it was still a very bloody victory for the Allies. And now I have Nagato and Mutsu coming. They will take over this kind of duty to bait the enemy and lure the enemy out more or less. So battleships are coming, taking over maybe this kind of job. My carrier itself are here ready with 600 aircraft. You can see I have here nearly 300 fighters and the rest is then strike aircraft. Because if I say all aircraft but not patrol aircraft and float plane. No, there are no float planes here. So 321 strike aircraft, dive bombers and K torpedo bombers. So I had no time to upgrade up to now to D4 and B6. This will be in the future. I can maybe check this quickly because long time I don't check this more. And D is ready for. So I already built on the B7, but this is a future project. I also focus on D4G, D4G4. It means this is the 800 kilo dive bomber without armor protection. You can also have the Y5, D4Y4, yeah, and Y5 is then with armor protection, but slower and so on. But this is still some days ago. But you can see it's October 43, and I 3 months and I may be ready. Tony needs maybe 2 more months to be enter production, and the rest is and this George is maybe coming in 6 weeks. That would replace the 0, and you cannot enter directly from here. Yeah, that is more or less all. What I can do already under production is in limited numbers. So M8 normal, M8G for land-based torpedo bombers, dive bombers. This is a recon aircraft, anti-submarine, long-range torpedo bomber, a super long-range torpedo search aircraft. Also, this is a recon, but more or less a little useless because this is simply better, and they are both Navy. I have very small numbers on 2A Oscars simply because some air wings they requested it change to this aircraft, so I built them below small numbers only. What I have here but never used is the Key 45D. That is a night fighter, a true night fighter. So that is the only aircraft could, if there's ever a night engagement again, I could use this kind of aircraft. But up to now, the last months, we had no night bombing, so I only produce the aircraft and I just start with this. So that is all. So we will see how this strikes out. You can see that this carrier wing is normally a fast moving one, but I took here some fuel to operate here east side a little more, so I restock the fuel and I can still go normally 7 hexes. So I could maybe go to this position, yeah, and this means I will be in striking range to attack the enemy carriers. And because I have 600 aircraft, I could go with 100 on cap and 100 on escort, or 200 on cap and 100 escort, and then I have 300 strike aircraft. And yeah, I only can see here also a big bunch of fighter group land-based. So I slaughter a lot of fighters, but also more strike aircraft. But it is dangerous for me if the enemy carrier is moving into this hex and then I make a strike. Then they also could have here 150 cap fighters, and it could be a bloody it could end very bloody for me at least. So I have maybe to do some tactic I don't really like to do is I have this training aircraft wing with pilots are okay, but not really frontline 100% trained. But they could try to make a super long range sweep over the enemy base. Problem is any damaged aircraft will be lost for sure. I cannot fly 14 hexes with a damaged aircraft back. That is not possible with the M20. But I could bring a lot of fighters over the enemy base to reduce the chance of enemy cap fighters. And this will save my elite pilots from the carrier wing. And this is only second class fighters at the end. That is war. Use the tools you have. And nothing really else to discuss. No, not really. I can maybe check one last time my ship production. So you can see there's the new carrier is coming. I pushed this guy in the last one more or less. That is again a Shukaku Kai class carrier. So a small upgrade of Shukaku, but at the end it's a full-size fleet carrier and what else you want. And I have already the equipment from end of 43, so I have here Navy search and air search radar and good flak guns. And you can also see the decked gun is built normally to withstand 500 pound bombs. I think 60mm or something like this is normally very unlikely to be penetrated by 500 pounds. You cannot, for 1000 pounds you need much more, but this is not, the idea is I think to stop 500 pounds bombs. Why this is now possible to penetrate with 500 pounds, I don't know. Maybe simply only unlucky. And this would be the last of the Shukaku Kai. This is now with 45 equipment. But you can only see that you get here now double air search plus surface radar. Why you need surface radar for carrier, I don't know, because you have only 4-inch guns. This will never help you. But why not? But there's not much more coming, so I would say this last upgrade is not helping you, not for the carriers. So there's only this one escort carrier. Battleships, I started to build the super cruisers. Battle cruisers at the end. I would call them always battle cruisers because with 30,000 tons you're not more a super cruiser. I would say this is still a battle cruiser speed but low belt armor. So you have here the over 100mm deck protection, so this is normally against 1000 pounds protected and against 8-inch shells for sure, but 14-inch will always penetrate your belt normally. But yeah, this ship still make more sense for me than this kind of Yamato super battleships, because these guys consume so much fuel and it's so hard to restock the shells. And yeah, anyway, that is my cruisers under construction. You can see I have only 2 more heavy cruisers coming. They are all tone class, they're all the same type. This is a very good cruiser. They have a lot of Navy search capability with 5 aircraft is what the Allies also have. I think the similar, that is very good. You can normally always find the enemy fleet with this kind of Navy search. And in a firepower, 8 guns, that's enough. And good is, even if you're crossing T, so far I understand, you can use all your front guns and your centerline guns. You can only not use anything what is rear mounted. But that would in this case make no difference, so I can still use all my guns even if the enemy make crossing T. But this is, I mean, if it's happened. I still like this light cruisers, and I would ask build me more of this and not so many heavy cruisers, because these guys can still take on heavy cruisers. And if I get 2 of this for 1 heavy tone class cruisers, I would always take these guys. More flexibility. And they have also very, very high cruise speed. This I always like. To not burn fuel unlimited and still be very fast. And the destroyer program is coming to the end. You can see that there's not more. This is the last batch of my flag cruisers, destroyers. So they're all really only for anti-submarine, anti-aircraft. And there's nothing else more coming. I get more of this flag destroyers, but the fleet destroyers are not more under production. I get now only this support destroyers. So no fleet surface engagement destroyers. Nothing more is coming. Really up to the end. It's only the second class and first class of support destroyers. I get also the first of my APDs. But this is similar. I would say you can use them for escort duty, nothing more. So Japan will run out of surface destroyers. It's at this point really clear. And submarines are still not under production. I hold them all. Hold all 33 on hold. Nothing is under production. If I have ever points left, I could maybe use them for submarines, but the problem with submarines and me is still that I think they are useless now, and they first get any use if you have the radar, and we get with Japan the radar first in end of 33, if I remember correctly. The rowboats getting the radar first in summer of 44, that is so far off. This is also a rowboat. And the normal I boats, they're getting in summer 43. So at that point, I would say, okay, you get air search radar, so you will not have always a bomb drop on you so often. And you can much easier find the enemy fleet and attack them. Good. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.